Shut up and sit down.
Welcome to the Big Blue Offensive Podcast with Mike Trainer, Jay Jules, and John Depot. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Big Blue Offensive Podcast. Another week, another loss. Jules, what do we got on deck, man?
Geez, the usual here. We're going to review what was another great game over in Dallas this past weekend, followed by some, maybe some previewing for the Rams' upcoming game. Of course, what new, right? What to expect and what to hope for, I guess. Maybe a little talks about the coach, John Gruden, having to step down for some crazy reasons. And then, of course, one of our favorite segments of late, because it's the only time we get to have a little fun since the Giants are 1-4, the pick'em, of course. So, yeah, guys, man, I don't know. Here we are sitting at 1-4. I mean, the only quick positive note that I can make is that I was expecting a 3-4 split over this 7-game stretch. And anything more than that would be insane, right? So here we are sitting into this stretch and we're 1-1, right? So, it doesn't look good with all these fucking injuries. But at the end of the day, we're still sort of on course there, right? I don't know if we can squeeze out 2 more wins, but Carolina doesn't look as strong as they did. And who knows, man? Any given Sunday, if we can get guys back and healthy, maybe we steal 1 more out of the next 6 games.
Jules, I don't know. Like the way our fucking team, I was so excited for Sunday, right? I'm like, we're back. We beat the Saints. I'm so hyped up. I'm like 4:00 game. I'm fucking nice and lit up for the game. I'm on my 10th beer. And then all of a sudden, these injuries just start popping up out of nowhere. The Barkley injury was just fucking insane. I'm like, once he was just looking at the play and just twisted his fucking ankle. And then it blew up in a matter of seconds. I remember Troy Aikman is he's going to be out for a while. I remember shut the fuck up, Aikman. You don't know what you're talking about. And then they showed his fucking ankle look like the size of my fucking big Irish head. And then then everybody just it just snowballed. Everybody just started dropping dead. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I've never seen the amount of injuries that happened to an NFL football team ever in my life, the way it affected the Giants, not just this year, but going back to last year too. I mean, like I said before, honestly, say the roles were reversed, right? Say if Dallas lost Dak Prescott, right? Zeke, they lost CeeDee Lamb,
Amari Cooper. They lost 5 left guards. I mean, give me a break, dude.
Your linebacker, Van Der Esch. What else? You think they're going to beat us?
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here. Come on, man. Be real. Then go ahead, Jules.
No, I mean, I was going to say, you touched on the injuries thing, and that's become a little bit of a sore, sensitive subject, at least in my end of the world, because everybody's trying to now come at me and say, oh, that's the reason why? Oh, so now we're going to make excuses because of injuries? No, but if you ignore the fact that is part of the reason why the Giants are losing, then you don't understand football, okay?
90%.
You can't have, I don't know if I've ever in my entire life seen 5 different starting left guards in as many weeks and games. That doesn't make sense. Literally, you can't get a healthy left guard to stay in the game, okay? We had 3 starting linemen absent from this game in this week, okay? Plus 2 starting wide receivers. Yes, Kadarius Toney's a bright spot, and Jules will eat crow a little later on in regards to that. But after that, you also now then lose your quarterback and your running back in the same game. Dude, I don't care what team you are. If you lose all those pieces, what if you expect to beat another team? Listen, I don't even care if you're playing the worst team in the NFL, which could be the Giants, arguably. I understand. We're in the bottom half of the league when it comes to defense, by the way, and I'll get on that a little later on too. But you have to keep that in mind. I mean, look, dude, injuries are playing a part. Is it everything? Of course not. Listen, this defense is underachieving like I've never seen before, okay? They're ranking in the bottom third of the league in every category. Bottom third in every single category, this defense. They're underachieving. They don't look motivated. They don't have fire behind them. You guys love Peppers. I haven't seen Peppers get pumped up one time except for when he won a coin toss and to get an overtime for the ball, okay? So there's something missing there. And these injuries, as freakish as they are and as they're occurring, some are just freakish. Others, there's got to be something that has to do with conditioning. You cannot go through a whole entire preseason and practice and all this training and doing all this stuff and running and getting these guys in shape, and then everybody's dropping like flies. You got guys retiring. You got all this craziness going on throughout the beginning of the year. At some point, this has got to fall on Judge. All right, he's the head coach. This is his team, right? This goes on his record. And for whatever reason, something's just not getting done. And I can't put my finger on it.
I think it's just something with New York. I mean, how many years are we going to watch the Yankees just fucking have player after player after player going to get hurt? Now, I mean, the Giants are no strangers to the injury bug. I mean, yeah, sure, we might have one of the most famous non-injured athletes of all time in Eli Manning, but the reality of the situation is Sunday was very similar to, I don't remember what year it is, but I think Odell, Shep, and maybe Victor Cruz all got hurt in that same game. I don't remember. It was like the top 3 wide receivers all got hurt the same game, plus other people, and it like destroyed the whole season. This is even worse because you're talking about all the tent poles of a football team: quarterback, wide receiver 1, your most dynamic offensive weapon in Saquon Barkley. Left tackle was, hurt the game before, didn't play. You took your right tackle, moved him over to left tackle, and that was as bad a showing as you could have.
Oh, God.
You fucking – bro, like that – I mean, I at this point, I can't even remember who else got hurt the game. Tony is got an injury. He's got something with his ankle. Like every single piece of your team just got eviscerated. You just look at your 53-man roster. You rank them 1 to 53 and just take off the top 10, 12 most important guys and then go to battle with the 40 left over. That's basically what we had last week. And you know what? Maybe the weeks 1 through 3 when we were losing and it wasn't 100% based on injuries, although I think Blake Martinez not playing definitely played a role in the defense not being as good as they could be. But you got team failure all over the place, man. Sunday was just like, I felt like I was, it sounds terrible, but like at a hospice, like waiting for someone to die. Just let that game be over. 2021 over. It's almost impossible with the injuries that we got on Sunday. That Mike Glennon going to go beat the Rams? Is he going to beat the Panthers? Maybe the Panthers because the Panthers are sliding. But we're like at a funeral tonight, guys. It really sucks.
You know what sucks about the game too? When I was watching it, I don't think a lot of people noticed it, but I kind of did. Like earlier in the game, Daniel Jones was like running towards the sideline and he chucked the ball down the field, and I think Tony made the nice play on that. And Daniel Jones took a big hit, like his head hit the turf at that moment. And I was worried about then if like he might have had a concussion, because when he hit his head the second time and he did get the concussion, it didn't look that bad. You know what I mean? It wasn't really that big of a hit. Sure, it was helmet to helmet, but I think he was kind of dazed like real early in that game because something wasn't right. Like after he took the hit, like earlier in the game, and then to come up with that second hit, and then he's like wobbling. I'm like, oh Jesus Christ! I'm like, I mean, this could be serious where he could be out, not just 1 game, not just 2 games. He could be out like a month. You know, you can't tell with these head injuries. Like I'm hoping for the best, but I mean, who the hell knows? And you're going to be without Barkley. You're going to be, Shepard. I mean, that dude's hurt every year. I'm like, eventually you just got to part ways with him. I love the guy, but I'm like, listen, like we got Tony now. He's a bright spot in the offense. We signed Galladay, so we can't really get rid of him, even though his injuries are just like piling up everywhere. It's his hip, it's his knee, it's his foot, it's his eyes. Like everything's like it happens every week. So eventually they're going to have to make some moves. I'm just worried, like if the trade deadline is going to come soon and the Giants are going to be out, because next week they play the Rams, they're going to get crushed, especially with big neck Mike Glennon. I mean, sure, you could see over the defense with his long ass fucking giraffe fucking neck, but that's not going to help him throw the ball. So it's going to be terrible, man. It's going to be awful next week. It's going to be really bad.
Listen, again, you know what? One of the things that stands out the most, do we have a healthy Andrew Thomas, right? Because Solder looked lost, man. He definitely cannot play the left side. Like, that's got to be recognized. It's terrible. Like, dude, he couldn't even handle stunts, basic ones where the Cowboys were literally just doing loop stunts, and they were busting in through the line, in the middle of the line. Like, they couldn't communicate between him and whoever the left guard was at that exact moment, because that whole left side was just terrible. And you're right, Mike. That's why Jones was running to the sideline, because he was running for his life at that point. The whole
Yeah.
left side got blown up as
Mhm.
usual on some dumb stunt that was like a high school type style stunt. It wasn't even anything spectacular. And they were getting pressure from that side. I mean, it's obvious. Look, Solder wasn't supposed to be the guy this year. So people have to understand that as well, right? How he ended up getting the starting right tackle job over Matt Pert, you could argue that. We could debate it to a blue
I
in
think
the
it's
face.
Jules. I think it was his
Yeah.
back. I think
It
Matt
might have
Pert's
been. It
back
might
was
have been. They
hurt.
might have been trying to protect Pert, and they hit like a little bit of an injury on this matter, and that's
Just
part
look
of the
better.
reason why he wasn't there. Look, hopefully Andrew Thomas is back next week, and he hooks up on that left side. Yes, I know people are going crazy that they're saying that. Oh man, we got to use Solder in a rotation. Look, in a rotation, the guy's probably okay, and maybe it is part of that. Maybe Thomas isn't 100%. Excuse me, Pert isn't 100%, and they're hiding that. Right. And that's the part of the reason why we're forced to have to use Solder. And sure, you can argue, oh, we could have got out another tackle, but then we're getting back into this whole injury thing where we don't know what's going on with these injuries. But I will tell you this, guys, besides arguing whether or not we should have took another lineman on offense this year in the draft and all these different things, or at least sign someone, we did go out and sign Galladay, right? That was the big wide receiver to go out and sign. But he does have a history of being injured. You want to talk about Shepard, you can go down the line and look at all the injuries Galladay's been through. So now you got two wide receivers that you're counting on to be your 1 and 2, and these guys are hurt every year. So, it's just something you got to keep in mind. And look, I'll admit, I have been back and forth about Kadarius Toney, okay? And I kind of want to end this with that, but I got to bring up one last thing. Look, as much as we love Barkley, we know he's dynamic. We know he's a hell of a bit of an athlete, right? The reality is this: the guy's hurt every single season.
Every year.
Every single season, right? Like, that's sort of the knock on Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook's a fantastic running back, but he's hurt every year too, right? So if these guys can't stay healthy and Barkley hasn't even been paid yet, look, I'm not saying that he's not going to come back, and I'm not saying he can't have a fantastic close to the rest of the season, but it's something that's got to be kept in mind. You have too many injury-prone guys on this team already starting. So when these other guys start getting hurt, it just kind of makes this more monumental of injuries, and it makes it so much worse. But real quick, I did say I would end on somewhat of a good note. Obviously, I have been back and forth on Toney since day one. If you guys paid attention on the YouTube and on Twitter, I posted a whole bunch of stuff when we drafted him on draft night. I went bananas on that pick, all right? And couldn't take it. Thought it was a horrible pick. Should have took this guy. Should have took that guy. There was so many better wide receivers. And then he starts off like he did in preseason, post this, that. And I kind of jumped back on it because I thought he was going to be all right.
You made a milk cart.
You see, he's a problem. We don't see him for the first month of the season. And now the last 2 weeks, this guy looks like the best player in the draft, maybe besides Jamar Chase in the wide receiver class, right? So hats off to that. I'll eat crow when I have to, all right? I'm eating crow on this one, guys. Toney's legit. He looks like a solid player. He might be a little bit of a head case because he did throw a punch in this game. I didn't appreciate Judge going and ripping him up like he did because that was a little uncalled for. You want fight, you want spirit. You got to pull that guy to the side. You got to talk to him. You got to keep yourself composed there, Joe Judge. All right, now I'm gonna start throwing shit at Judge because he is not acting like our leader, and that's part of it there. But as far as Toney's concerned, this kid looks legit, man. And for all you dudes out there that were hating on it, and I did talk a lot of smack that he'll be better than Jalen Waddle. Where you at now? Because guess what? Toney looks more electrifying than Waddle does. And that's about the only positive thing I can say about this game.
Is this somebody that Giant Universe is actually minting their wrong? Like, I've never heard this before. I mean, for Christ's sake, you made Toney on a fucking back of a milk cart. You know how many times I that post out? I think wasn't I the guy on the BBO NYG podcast on draft night saying he's Tyreek Hill 2.0? Now you guys see it. All right. I watch college football. I was betting a lot on college football. I know the guy, man. So listen, I think he's going to be electric for us, and it's time to move on from these old ass wide receivers that can't stay on the field.
Right there.
I mean, yeah. I mean, watching Toney was basically like you ever play Madden and for whatever reason, just in a given game, you have that one wide receiver that you just keep hitting, keep busting big plays, and they get like 175 yards, and like all right, whatever.
Yeah, because if Madden, they give him like that extra momentum. I mean, that's what he like all of a sudden the computer just starts generating more momentum for that player. Like they'll start catching balls that are like thrown 5 feet over their head and everything. But you're right. And look, that's kind of how he looked a little bit. It was almost like a video game, this kid, man. If this is what we got from him, man, think about this. This is a steal, believe it or not. And then, you know what? We got 2 first-round picks.
Hell yeah.
I mean, guys, you can't complain about that. I mean, look, we've got 110 different things that the Giants fans and fan base and team can complain about. let's talk about some stuff that we don't have to complain about, right? And that's definitely one of them. And like I said, Tony, I took you off the milk carton, buddy. I found you. All right, man. I won't throw that meme up again unless you disappear on us throughout the regular season.
He was found safe. He was found safe and sound. John,
safe
you
and
got
sound and electrical. It was like he was getting charged up or something, like a car or something. Like they were charging him up, and then they were like, "Boom, let him go, baby."
It was definitely a reward.
Electrifying.
It was definitely a reward for him, man. We were all looking for him. John, do you have anything else to say about Tony before I have a question for you guys?
Specifically for Tony, I mean, he's just a fun guy to watch, man. It's nice when, a draft pick, a number one draft pick, especially one that gets abused like everybody else at this fucking team draft. Saquon gets abused. Daniel Jones got abused. Andrew Thomas got abused. Dexter Lawrence got abused. DeAndre Baker got abused. Darius Toney got abused. Like, every fucking player that they draft gets abused. It's nice when they go out and they fucking show up. Saquon did it the first year. Daniel Jones did it the first year. Thomas was doing it the second year so far. And now Tony finally, he missed a couple of games as far as like getting a good snap share. But the second that they really kind of said, all right, let's play the ball here, the kid has looked like one of the most electrifying players in the NFL, period. Running back, wide receiver, tight end, quarterback, I don't care. The shit that he was doing on the field on Sunday in Dallas was the only word for it is it's special. That's a special player. So it's nice to see. But yeah, just to put a bow on Dallas, man, it sucks of all teams to have to get, just abused like that by both figuratively and literally. It's tough that it's Dallas, but you know what? Shit happens. And I guess we're kind of just, look forward to watching some of these players develop, watch Jones come back, develop. You know what? Speaking of Jones, Mike, when you were talking about Jones, about him getting hit on that play, if you look like 30 minutes ago, I shared a clip. Daniel Jones top 5 most air yards on that play. He threw the ball like 53 and change yards, which is really far, and he was getting crushed by multiple different Cowboys. It's too quick to see if his head bounds off the turf, but I watched it and I was like, holy shit, he got fucking crushed on that play. And that half hour later, you're saying it, and the way he came up, bro, he had drool hanging out of his mouth. I don't know if his foot stumbled and that's why it looked like that, or his body was giving out, like he literally got rocked. But there's concussions and there's like car accident concussions. And unfortunately, it looks like our boy got one of those car accident concussions because he looked fucked up. And you feel for him. You feel for the whole team.
Go look for you fans out there. He looked like Devontae Wilder walking around the ring a little bit after he Tyson Fury knocked him around a little bit this past Saturday night.
Go look at the post that NYG Slap Parade posted about Daniel Jones. He's right. He can't see the hit, but I remember watching the play, and that was the exact play that I was talking about, that he got crushed, man. It was unfortunate, man. But I tell you, Tony did a lot of that damage with Mike Lennon as the quarterback. So, hey, it's something to look forward to on Sunday when he plays. But if you guys are ready, I got a question for you guys.
All right, let me just make one more point about the Dallas game because we want to talk about positives. Solder got whipped on the left side. But one thing that didn't get mentioned at all, Matt Pert played pretty well at right tackle, man. There wasn't a lot of pressure coming from that side, and I not that he graded out as some like top 10 tackle or anything like that, but for a guy who, we kind of, lost some of the faith we had in him going into the season pretty quickly in the offseason, in training camp this year and in the preseason. He did play adequate. Well, at the very least, he played adequate. So that's something maybe to look forward to from going forward. Maybe he wins the right tackle job. Thomas comes back next week, and we got a couple of tackles, and we can watch them develop through the course of the year. But yeah, I just wanted to get that out there for Matt Pert because, he got a lot of slings and arrows this year, so he played well. But you mentioned the question twice. I'm kind of dying to hear what it is.
Yeah, I mean, all right, so here's the deal. Like, after the game, like, all the haters came out again, with like going against Gettleman. They're blaming Gettleman for everything. And you can't blame Gettleman for the injuries that happened. I mean, if you look at the long list of players that went down, it's just, I felt like it was a nightmare. I couldn't believe it. So then I'm just like reading all the tweets, everybody bashing him. And 99% of the Gettleman haters are just OBJ lovers. They just can't get over the fact that he got traded. I know we mentioned this before, but I just want to put some more context about, going into this. So I had people like saying, like, this goes back a while, saying like, oh, there's better regimes out there, right? Browns, right? They're a better regime than the Giants. Okay, because the Browns are winning this year. That's fine. Okay, this is going in before the year. Then they were telling me, oh, the Dolphins have a better regime. The Colts have a better regime. Now, if you look at, all right, the Browns are having a good year, but if you look at the Dolphins and the Colts, right? They got crushed by injuries, and then all of a sudden they're not having a great year. Why ain't you going after their GMs the way people go after our GMs? And the only reason is because he traded OBJ. All the fanboys love him. Like I had a debate with that guy Dan Snyder. He was on the Giants Brawl podcast when we used to do it on there, and I was just debating him or whatever. He named like those teams as the better regimes, but now he goes over, he's blaming Gettleman, he hates Gettleman, all that shit. Like, just admit that it's not the regimes, it's the injuries that crush this fucking team. Just why can't people just admit that? I don't understand that. But the only thing I could say is because they're OBJ cocksuckers. That's all it is.
I can explain it.
Tell me.
So you have people who think about it. I don't know exactly what kind of lives you guys lead or anything like that. But there's a lot of people out there, man, that wake up earlier than they want to wake up. They commute further than they want to commute. They go to a job that they don't like, deal with a boss that they hate, that shits on them, disrespects them, this, and that. Come home to a wife that's probably cheating, maybe not, probably 20, 30 pounds heavier than they want, a couple of screaming kids. And every day of their life, left, right, and center, is just L's, taking L's, left, just every day. So they fall in love with sports teams because it gives them a sense of like, I won something, I accomplished something, just by association in a sense. So you get these people who they can't, they look forward to the W's. So they'll root their team on and they'll cheer just the way we're going to cheer. And then just because they don't have any other W's in their lives, they use all the fucking negativity and saying, oh, I was right on Twitter and this and that, where nameless, faceless people are trying to get, like fucking Clapback says, they just do it for clout, and it makes them feel like they get a W. When in the reality, they're just monster walking L's, and not the good kind.
Jules,
let's be real here. All right, two things, right? Number one, I think I said this back around this time last year, where I said, look, Gettleman's got to finish out this year. You got to give him one more draft. You got a new coaching staff in here. Let's see what happens. If not, he's going to be the fall guy, right? Because here's the real. If he's not the guy, who's to blame? You're going to blame Judge for this season? Or we're going to just say that the gods of football have been hating on the Giants so much that we just had to go through all these injuries? Someone's got to be to blame. You cannot have what? Is it Mara and Trish's fault that we're in this position? You cannot continue to put out losing product season after season after season, especially when they're opening the purse and they're going out there and they're signing big free agents, okay? It's not like Detroit, where Detroit went out and signed nobody. They traded away their team. They didn't even go out and sign a big-time receiver. They're building from the bottom up, right? The Giants look like we had a top 10 defense. We went outside the Dory Jackson. We go outside Kenny Galladay. We go out and put money out there. We go ahead. We did, all the experts. We crushed the draft, A+ across the board. Gettleman's best work ever. And then here we are sitting at 1-4. So who is to blame? You know what I'm trying to say? Sure, some of it is those guys that are holding resentment because we traded Odell Beckham, who hasn't done anything since that trade anyway. All right, and everybody loved Peppers, who came over in that trade. But now all of a sudden, because Peppers is having a year and he's being exposed, now no one wants to be on the Peppers bandwagon anymore either, right? But then where does the blame fall? I mean, guys, keep in mind, man, this is going to be, in the last 6 years, this is our third head coach. If Judge goes, we're going to have a fourth in here in 7 years.
We can't do that to Daniel Jones, bro. We can't do it.
So that's what you got to understand. Someone's got to take the fall. Look, Gettleman's done a good enough job where this would have to be accepted. He's old enough, dude. He can retire right now and not even have to think twice about fucking the NFL ever again if he really wanted to. He could end up with some sort of front office job. Like I think Mack is a consultant, right? That was one of our other coaches there. And he's like a consultant on the Cowboys or some shit. Like Gettleman could get a job like that fairly easy.
go.
Legend in the
With the
NFL.
Giants.
He's been around forever. He'll be fine. So that's the guy that's got to take the fall to sort of spark this team. Something's got to be done. But I don't even know if that's a good enough spark. I keep saying it. Everybody wants to fire Garrett, but I don't blame that. I think you got to go fire Pat Graham. But that's your assistant head coach, and that's really making waves. You got to do something to shake this up, man. Like,
Dude,
something's got to be done.
You really think it's Patrick Graham's fault? Like, because
No.
I want to touch on the defense for a second, because I know, Juice, you've been hating on Graham for the past few weeks, the way the defense is playing. But against Dallas, it was 17-10 at the half. I mean, they had a couple turnovers early in the game, and then once the injuries piled on, it almost seemed like, all right, the offense came on for a couple plays. They were done, man. They were fucking done. Then you throw the defense back on the field. You're not really giving them a chance. And I can't say they quit, but it just seemed like they were fucking exhausted, man. Like, can you really knock the defense? Everybody's like, oh, they gave up 500 yards. I'm like, yeah, but look at how many of that was after all the injuries that piled up. If you see that happen in front of your face, like, you know what I mean? It kind of like demoralizes you. So
That's the word. That's the word, Mike. Demoralized.
John, I can't say it looked like the defense started out the game great. They were playing really well. I was hyped up, and then all of a sudden, just like it almost like, I don't know, just the nightmare hit.
Yeah, but you know, it could have very easily been 24-10. There was a drop touchdown pass that was clearly wide open in the end zone dropped. I think that was by Lamb or Cooper. I don't remember who it was for the Cowboys. Dropped the foot easy. It was worse than the Slayton drop, all right? So, you got to keep that in mind. And then down 14, and it's 24 points in the first half. If you double that, right, because you say, oh, if they put that up in the first half, they're going to double that in the second half. All of a sudden, they're at 48 points, dude. Like, how many points does this defense give up? Look, this was supposed to be the point. This was supposed to be the foundation, rather, of this team. This was the foundation. All the question marks were on offense. Daniel Jones isn't a good quarterback. Daniel Jones shouldn't have been drafted in the first round. He sucks. Barkley can't stay healthy. This guy sucks. We don't have a wide receiver. We can't get separation. That's what all the questions were. And yet, if you take away the fact that the offensive line couldn't stay healthy and these other guys are dropping like flies, the offenses look great. You know what happens when you start losing players left and right? You have plays designed for specific players. If they're not on the field, it's kind of hard to call those plays. But now you look at the defense, and as you mentioned, you guys keep saying this week in, week out. They look tired. The offense isn't getting enough time of possession. Bullshit. All right. I looked at the time of possession. The offense has a total time of possession 3 minutes less than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. 3 minutes. Okay. It's not about tired. There's some sort of lack of fight in them. There's just not aggressiveness. You know what? If a Ray Lewis or one of these other great defensive players was on that team, they step up. They see Barkley go down. They see Jones go down, and they say, look, guys, this game's on us today. Let's take it to another level. And they step up, man. And this defense never steps up, ever. They kind of step back and they go, fuck it. Let's let Daniel Jones win it for us again. Let's let the quarterback win it. That's all they do in this league is let the quarterbacks win it. Bro, I don't know if that's Blake Martinez not being there. Well, someone else is needing to take over that role and step up. And then, again, look, if you have a great front four that you could rush and you can get pressure, and like Dallas was getting occasionally on us, but that's because of the beat up left side of the offensive line, then you could continuously rush 4 guys. But when you're not getting pressure, you got to press coverage. You got to take some chances because you're getting beat over the top anyway, and throw some blitzes in there. Let Bradbury go one-on-one with CeeDee Lamb. Let Adoree Jackson go one-on-one with Amari Cooper. I'd rather see them get burnt one-on-one than have to keep sitting back and watching Dak Prescott have 10 seconds in the corner in the pocket to throw the ball. It's just ridiculous. There's something not there. And look, I said it in the past. I don't remember Pat Graham being that great of a coordinator. I don't. I know he's had some good seasons, but he got chased out of Miami. They chased him out of Miami for a reason. And then he comes here and he puts together and they work on stuff. And guess what? You know what? As much as it affected our team and affected other teams, we're not having a preseason. So when he was throwing out all these coverages and mixing stuff up and zoning and all this shit, yeah, it confused quarterbacks. And we won some games. And it made the defense look better than it was. But now that that's not the case and there's more preparation and that guys have had a whole season and a half to look at his stuff, it's all, they're catching on to it, man. It's time to start mixing stuff up. It's time to start blitzing some players, and let this defense earn their stripes.
I think a lot of it listen, you guys are talking about the roster and in my truck. You're talking about the roster the roster is more talented than anybody's played so far this year. If you had all starting 22 guys, or really, 26, 27 guys, if you start including, the sub package guys and all that stuff, you're going to have a better record than what they've done so far this year. And I think it might be a little combination of, there's now a 1.5-year book of Patrick Graham with the Giants. Sometime before that in Miami, there's a book on him now. Maybe the league figured him out. It's extremely, extremely possible. But the one thing that irks me the most is any team, any given year, especially a roster with 50-something people, some of your guys are going to have a down year as far as, if you want to call it, the back of their baseball card. You're just going to have that. But when you can go through your roster and damn near every single one of those players, maybe except Daniel Jones and now Andrew Thomas, is having a down year, that's a reflection on coaching. Whether it's, work too hard, too less, whatever message that had this team kind of like fighting all year last year, it's lost some of its zest. And I don't know, maybe you start off 0-2 and it gets annoying quick. I don't know what the answer to it is, but it can't be a coincidence that Adoree is not playing up to snuff. James Bradbury looks like half the play he was last year.
I know.
Leo, what do you know?
I know what you're talking about, John. These guys.
You're agreeing with me, yeah.
I'm agreeing with you because you're naming the guys in the secondary that aren't having a great year. And you know what? Contributing to that is we have no fucking pass rush. So all of a sudden, these wide receivers have more time to get open. And then all of a sudden, it looks like Bradbury sucks. It looks like Adoree Jackson sucks. It all starts up front. And if you watch these games, I'm sick of, I know we were debating on whether they're going 4-3 or 3-4. I'm seeing a lot of 3-4s out there a lot of times with our linebackers, and they're getting no pressure. Everybody's trying to blame Leo Williams. But listen, he needs help too. I know he's supposed to be a stud. He's getting paid close to Aaron Donald. And we're going to see Aaron Donald go fucking absolutely ape shit next week. He's going to have 10 fucking sacks. I agree. Leonard Williams needs to step up. But, he needs some help too, man. You got to bring some kind of pressure, like Jules said, with some fucking blitzes, some fucking shit, because it's getting really annoying when Dak Prescott's having all this fucking time. I get the offensive line is great in Dallas. He gets plenty of time to throw. It happens every game, but you got to do something to fucking shake his ass up. And they're not bringing that pressure. So when we have draft that's going to come around in April, I bet everything, those two fucking first-round draft picks are going to be for pass rushers. I guarantee not one will be an offensive lineman again in the first two picks of the first round. I guarantee you that.
I'm glad you brought that up because I think they go 1-1. I think they go 1-1, right? Because if they address the interior part of this offensive line, because there's no guarantee Nick Gates is going to come back and be effective. We don't know how he's going to come back from that injury. Shane Lemieux, we thought he was going to be out a few weeks. The guy still hasn't hit the field, right? So if they don't address the interior line, there's an issue. But you're right. I think they need a pass rusher first, right? Because you know what? They have Ojulari, who's the team leader in sacks, by the way. And he doesn't even play.
Right. I don't get it.
What are you kidding me? That doesn't even make sense. Michael Parsons was out there for every single snap on defense, and your sack leader in Ojulari is on the sideline. Why? So Lorenzo Carter could play? Give me a fucking break, dude. So either that's Judge or that's Pat Graham. And I don't know which of the two it is. And I'm starting to question the two of them hard, man, because enough with all the Garrett talk and fire Garrett. Jason Garrett's playbook is from 1985. Yo, what's up with this D? What is up with this defense, all right? You can't have your sack leader on the sideline to open the fucking game when you're talking about not having a pass rush. That doesn't make sense. That's just the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my entire life, okay? 100%. And now what's been going on with this team. So someone's got to answer for this on defense. But you're right, Mike, if you want to talk and look, we should get, at this point in time, I'm going to probably get a top pick. And I think we are going after a pass rusher because hopefully now you can put him on one side, Ojulari on the other, and hopefully we'll have some kind of a rush. You know what I'm saying? And then we'll go from there. But I can't no more. No one wants to bring up Pat Graham. They just want to blame the whole defense in general. Well, then someone's got to be to blame. Just like I said, with this 1-4 start for another year in a row, who's to blame, right? So it's got to be Gettleman. Someone's got to take a blame. So someone's going to have to man up, probably Gettleman. and they're going to let him go at some point, right? I guarantee you, maybe not after the Rams game, but if we lose that Carolina game, something's going to happen.
Maybe he retired.
I'll bet you a mortgage payment he finishes the season.
Yeah,
I don't care if they don't win another game. There's no shot. Mara's doing that. No shot.
I agree, John. I agree. I don't think like Mara fires him mid-season, man. He stays because you know what? Like again, back to what you guys were saying before. You do not want Daniel Jones to have a fucking third head coach in like 4 years. Like it's not going to do him any good, the team any good. Like if they do move on from a GM, they're going to bring a GM that's going to work with Joe Judge. They're not going to change the coaching staff like that. Maybe they do, move on from the offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, but they have guys that could step up, keep the same terminology, maybe expand on the playbook right there. But you can't just totally change it up again. We can't keep going through coaches and GMs like it's musical fucking chairs. It's not going to help nobody out. We need to have some kind of continuity. And then with that, then we could build. So it seems like we got talent around. We just got to stay fucking healthy, man. We shouldn't even be talking about this if people stayed on the goddamn field.
Well, listen, not only that, I have to go back to this because it's a fact. We don't jump off sides against Washington. We're sitting at 2-3. Is that great? Are we celebrating about it? No. But we'd be sitting at 2-3 right now with a division win on our belts. So, look, I will continue to harp on that. But that's the only reason why the Giants are sitting at 1-4, besides the injuries. All right, because, yes, Shepard and Slayton got hurt in the first half against Atlanta. They didn't play in the second half. We started working in other guys. We didn't realize what we had in Tony, unfortunately. So, that Atlanta game was due to injuries. You could say the same about Dallas, right? If we would have hung with them throughout the whole game, probably not. But who knows? You never know with a healthy team, right? So,
right.
The team is there, but that's why I'm trying to say that there's something missing. So maybe it's not the coaches. Maybe it's that there's not a true leader on this team. If you think back, right? Like, you had Michael Strahan, you had Justin Tuck, you had these guys, Osi Umenyiora. You had these guys that put the team back together and they put it on their back when it needed to be. Eli, we heard, maybe you didn't see him vocally, but apparently he was a leader in that huddle throughout the whole time. You know what I mean? So we had guys that were vocal. We had guys that stepped up. I don't see that with this team.
Jules Barkley was like against the halftime in New Orleans. He had that big dramatic speech and they came out and they came back and won that game. So maybe he's a leader on offense. Maybe not. I don't know about a defensive player.
Yeah, I mean, that's what's missing right now. Leonard Williams right now, say what you want to say. Maybe he needs help. Maybe it's because guys are missing. We switch things up. Who knows? We can make a million excuses, right? But at the end of the day, you're our highest paid defensive player. We put that trust in you. You were supposed to be that guy. It's time to step up, bro. It's time for you to be that vocal leader on defense and get out there and show guys what's going on and make some plays and get these guys fired up. You need some kind of energy on this defense, and we are zero. We have zero energy when it comes to the defense.
Maybe
there's a killer instinct that this team is missing.
Definitely, without question.
But maybe that comes from the coach, bro. I don't know. Last year we had that. We had Logan Ryan and fucking Jabril Peppers, Blake Martinez. You had guys that were fucking. They're still here. You do have that. You're not just a leader sometimes and not others. That's not how it works. If you have that type of personality, that's who you are. That's who you are. It's just 50 guys not playing up to what they can, and that's the fucking that's I don't know. That's, to me, that's coaching, bro. That's coaching.
Maybe Leonard Williams should keep more time eating offensive linemen instead of fucking going around and eating the heart of bluefin tuna on vacations. You know what I mean? Spend some time fucking eating up the fucking offensive line of Dallas. This fucking guy, we need something. We need something to happen. We
need a spark. We need a spark. And that's what I'm getting at.
Are we done?
That's what I've been trying to preach this whole entire podcast tonight.
Let's move on.
We need a spark. We need a spark. I don't know if that comes from a big firing. I don't know if that it definitely could come from a player if one of these guys steps up and tries to put the team on his back. But that's what's needed. That's what's lacking on this team. Because one last point, and then I'm kind of over this fucking game, to be honest with you.
I'm done.
But one last point, and this is something you've seen and heard, and you'll hear it again, is that we've lost a lot of close games, right? and we were hanging our hat on that all going into this year. Oh man, you know what? We lost a lot of close games. Look at this. Well, let's take a look at a team like Baltimore. They are they're 4-1 because they pulled out 3 close games. That's why they're 4-1. As a matter of fact, they were in 4 tight games this season. Okay. And they have a 3-1 record in that tight game. Granted, one was a 66-yard miracle field goal that beat Detroit. And then last night, Carson Wentz had them down the field and Blankenship kicked the ball wide left. And they ended up missing that or else they would have lost that game. So they have gotten a little luck. Look,
They got lucky.
CEH fumbles on Sunday night. Right. And then all of a sudden they go for it on 4th and 2 or 3 and they get it. So, you know, they had a little things break for them. But the point of the matter is they fucking won 3 out of 4 tight, close games. We've won 1 out of 3. That's your difference there. And I don't know what that is anymore. I don't know if it's coaching. It's probably a little coaching. And it's the leadership on the field from these players because I don't see any defensive leader.
It's lucky.
The fact of the matter is, even if we did win against the fucking Falcons and Washington, and we were, 3-2 right now, with the injuries that we fucking got on Sunday, our season would have been over anyway.
So what, dude? We go down to 3-5. You know what I'm trying to say? Big deal. We're supposed to lose to the Rams. We're supposed to lose to Tampa. All right, we would have took a loss against Dallas. All right. So we're no different than what we were. We would have been right in position. You can't expect to go like when you guys were, inflating the records of getting 12, 13 wins. I was like, come on, guys, let's be realistic. I said most I see this team win is 10. I said we're going to probably be between 8 and 10. I mean, that was the reality back there. On a 17-game season, you're looking at 8 and 9, 9 and 8, 10 and 7 at best, dude. That was the reality with this team.
Without injuries?
No, it wasn't.
Without injuries. That's right.
No, that's not true. That's simply not true. This team on paper is a far better team than 7 and 9 or fucking whatever you said, 7 and 10, 8 and 9. That
8 and 9, 8 and 9 was the low. I said 8 and 9 to 10 and 7. That's what this team was, bro.
No, it wasn't.
We laughed at it. I thought for sure they were going to win more than the 7 games that Vegas put out there. I was like, yo, run it down. You got this. Bet your farm, bet your house, bet whatever. You got this bet.
On paper, John, they're fragile. Like they're fucking fragile. Like it's crazy. I can't fucking believe we're talking about this. Can we just fucking all move on? Like I'm sure everybody's sick of hearing about the fucking loss. Can we just fucking move on?
Let's see what happens next week. We know we got the Rams. At this point in time, with all the injuries, there's no way we're winning that game. Could Daniel Jones get out of protocol? Maybe. Could Barkley be back not this week, the following week? Possibly. Maybe Shepard gets healthy. We'll see. But as of now, I can't see them beating the Rams on Sunday. That's our preview. Like that's the preview.
You know what I mean? We have nothing else to fucking say about that fucking game. But
the preview's done. Let's go. I know, Mike. You wanted to throw in a quick promo because we got to talk about that guy John Gruden, man. Oh gosh, he was a household name. A lovable guy. We all used to laugh at him. All the Chucky dolls, the T-shirts, to this, to that. And then the dude said some pretty stupid shit, and he sent it in an email. Which
you want to know, Jules? You want to know what he said? It's for the people that haven't heard what he said. Like this is what he said. He said, DeMaurice Smith, he's like the leader of the NFLPA Association. He helps out the players, whatever. They had a big bickering argument when they're going over the labor deals back in the day. This is going back from 2011. So John Gruden in an email said DeMaurice Smith had lips the size of Michelin tires. Now,
had what?
He had lips the size of Michelin tires.
Ooh.
Okay. So yeah, that's pretty brutal. But did I laugh when I first heard it? Sure, because I laugh at every stereotype, no matter what kind of race, color you are. Like, listen, I'm Irish. People said oh, Irish, you got a small little dick or whatever. Of course, it's not true. Like, mine is tremendous. But it's just like, can people just catch a break and just laugh about it? Like, I'm going to be talking about in detail about the whole John Gruden thing and cancel culture and all that on the Mix It Up episode podcast that we're going to record tonight. So follow us on the Mix It Up podcast on Twitter, on social media, on Instagram. Like and subscribe. We're going to get into more detail about that. But listen, it was rough, man, to go over an email. And the only reason why they were searching through emails is because they were still searching about the Washington Redskins being pieces of shit. You know what the owner of the Redskins did to the cheerleaders? he made the cheerleaders go on vacation, right?
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Pose fucking topless, right? And sent those pictures and emails to fucking like John Gruden and a couple other
No
people.
way.
No
Yeah.
joke. Allegedly. But I
Allegedly.
mean, come on.
Because listen, Mike, we really got to say this allegedly, because here's the point. Now, look, you can't excuse what Gruden did or said. Fine. He said some really stupid stuff on that email, and it's inexcusable, right? So that's just the bottom line there. But the crazy thing is, if I read the number correctly, they investigated some like 650,000 emails that was sent over the last 10 years.
Wow.
And all they found out of 650,000 that made news was John Gruden's 2 emails when he was having an argument with some guy.
Right.
Going off about Goodell and about the other guy. All right. So listen, I don't know. I'm not condoning it. I'm not saying it was right, but man, out of 650,000, you have an owner being accused of taking explicit photos of cheerleaders and exposing them in ways that they didn't want to be exposed. And the only ones they came back with is John Gruden.
Right.
Oh,
that
doesn't sound right there to me. I don't know, man. I don't know.
That's a vendetta, man.
Weird stuff there.
They had it. You said it. They had it in for him because whoever else, like they didn't have it in for, they're gonna skate by without nothing coming out. But I'm telling you, man, there's people that work with John Gruden that couldn't stand him. So those people were out to get him no matter what. Those are the kind of people too. They're just as fucking fucked up and evil. Those bastards, they're snitches. And you know what happens in real life? Snitches, they get stitches. You know what I'm saying? So what the fuck, man? But yeah, I don't condone what he said. That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, look,
you don't say dumb shit
like that. Number one, that you put that in an email, right?
Yeah, right. Why would you say that in an email?
You felt that comfortable, make those kind of remarks to the person you're having a conversation with, and then that conversation is be solely between you and that person. And that's that. Right. So the minute that he put it out there, and the fact that these emails, I don't think were that private, it might even been more of like a business type email. That's just dumb. All right. It's just dumb. And you know what? Yes, you deserve to be exposed. But the fact of the matter is, it's almost over 500,000 other emails have been searched with all these photos and all these allegations and all this stuff going on, and nothing else has come out. This was the bread and butter. We found it in 2011. John Gruden made some really racial remarks. We got him, bro. We got him. All right. Listen, I just had to go and make a further comment on that, because like I said, as dumb, as stupid, and as bad as these remarks were, it's something, man. Like, maybe it was because he went after Goodell and he insulted him a little bit. And the NFL is, we know that the NFL is run by their owners, right? That's who controls this league. Whether or not you guys want to understand that or admit it, that is who runs the NFL, the owners. So they might not have liked him on a personal note. Maybe they got Goodell's back. I don't know. But for sure, they went after Gruden and targeted him, and they found a way to get him, and they got him, right? The guy did screw up, and he did do stupid wording and everything else there. But I don't know, man. It was just a little bit crazy there, if you ask me.
It sure was.
But with that said, you guys want to take a quick commercial break and then come back with the picks?
Absolutely.
All right, let's do it.
All right, guys, we'll be right back with the BBO NYG podcast to get those picks in. Be right back. All right, guys, we are back with the BBO NYG podcast. Before we get to the picks, I just want to mention that we changed our logo up. We finally got a logo for the BBO NYG podcast, So we posted that on Twitter. We're going to put it out on these on the shows going forward. So if you like it on YouTube and whatever else platform you listen to our show on, you're going to see that. We're going to have shirts made up pretty soon. We're searching for a vendor right now. Get a sweet deal. I know some people want sweatshirts. Like, you're just getting crazy. Sweatshirts cost like $200. You better pay me for one if you really want a sweatshirt. But we're going to have some t-shirts going on. So look forward to that, man. It's coming out. But guys, you excited for these picks, man? Should I go through the standings?
Yeah, man. You always got to do the standings, right? You know what I'm saying? We got to redeem ourselves here a little bit, but we're good.
I don't know. Like, Bobby Boucher's been making like a little bit of a comeback, man.
Oh, who this Bobby Boucher guy is?
Like, holy shit. Like, all right. So here we go. Here's the standings. Woody up again. Woody's up at 58.5 points, man. He's been killing it all year. Our Rob DeFato, he's up to like 52. MFT, you know who that is. That's me. We're tied. I'm tied for second place. And the BBO podcast is right behind that, 51.5. Then you got King Glue, Bobby Boucher right there. He's like only a point behind 50. Nancy's right there, 48. B Diddy on the board, 45. T-Bone, and then the rest goes on and on. But guys, we did not hit our key bets last week, and that's where we kind of fucked up.
And I have to admit, man, that's because you didn't listen to me about Pittsburgh. But there was a bet that I called out. I was like, man, I am all in on fucking Pittsburgh. All right. Just so you know, all in on fucking Pittsburgh.
What a
And
Pittsburgh played Broncos.
They played Denver at home.
Yeah.
That was such a classic game to see. Like, that's what the Steelers do. They look like they're done. They're ready to fucking replace Ben Roethlisberger. Their defense was banged up. They lose Juju Smith. Oh my God, they come in and beat them. That's what happens. That's what the Steelers do. So for you guys that do the survivor pools, that was like a perfect one where they would have screwed you in the past or they would have helped you out because that's what they always do.
Jules, I had the Ravens in the survivor pool yesterday, by the way. I skated. I was sweating that shit.
Oh, what happened to take it Tampa?
But look at what happened this past week. Detroit lost on a fucking field goal after he went for a 2-point conversion.
I had the Vikings, by the way.
You did?
So I was sweating my ass off on that one.
Dude, I was going against it, obviously, because 300 people had the Minnesota. And then Houston had the lead against New England, and they fucking blew it.
Yeah,
that could have been 650 people out the survivor pool. It would have been down to like 110.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and that's for 150,000, by the way, in this fucking survivor pool. That's a lot.
That's 150,000 points, not money.
Not money. 150,000 fucking NYBBO Giants t-shirts. All right, so guys, we're gonna have this. We're gonna have to speed this up. Like, I know we want to get through those picks, so whoever agrees with like Jules, then we're just gonna move on to the next pick. So the first game, we got Tampa Bay in Eagles. Tampa Bay is -7. That's a Thursday night game.
Listen, I understand that Brady had made some comments, if I'm not mistaken, about how like Philly's like sort of a sneaky team and all this kind of stuff on a short week. Is his thumb all right? I think Tampa goes in there, handles the Eagles really easily, bro. I'll take the -7 on the road, no problem.
I like the Eagles.
Deal. I'm with Tampa on this one.
You want Tampa, huh? Okay, Tampa it is.
-7, no money ball on that then.
They have no secondary though. I'm just saying. All right, next game is.
And the Eagles got no receivers, bro, except for Devonta. But that's it.
All right, the next game. You sound like you're from London. It's a London game. Jaguars and the Dolphins. Dolphins are -3.5.
Dude, I honestly think some fucking weird reason, bro. The Jags are gonna get the first win of the season.
Yeah, right. Yo, 100%. I agree. We're moving on. Jacksonville it is. Bengals are -2.5 against the Lions. Lions roar at home. Lions are at home.
I gotta go Bengals, man. I think there's something up with that line. I know the Lions. You could probably say the same thing about them as I did about the Jags, but I think Cincinnati's a better team than Miami. I like the Bengals. You said -2.5.
Yeah, I like the Lions. So John got to pick this one. Bengals it is. All right, next game, Colts, which is my survivor pick this week, by the way. They're at home. They're -10.5. They actually looked a lot better against Baltimore. They're playing the Texans. Texans aren't keeping up. Jules, go ahead. I mean,
unless they come out flat. I mean, Carson Wentz looks healthy again. He's got the offense rolling. Jonathan Taylor's been good. I don't see how they lose to Houston. And look, if you look at the standings, they could literally move in the second place with a win. So I mean, that's how bad the standings are. The Colts can literally move into second place in that division. So I think they gotta pull that one out. What was the spread on that again?
10.5. I'm taking the Colts. I think they put up points.
Yeah, I'll take the -10.5.
There we go. All right, next game. Chiefs are in Washington. They're -6.5. The Chiefs.
Chiefs gotta turn it around,
right?
Right? I mean, come on, Chiefs -6.5.
We got to take the Chiefs right there. Yep, that might be a money ball right there. I'm gonna click money.
I was gonna say the same thing.
Money ball. The Colts is a lot of points, but yeah, all right.
I mean, Chiefs are the money ball pick.
Yeah, Chiefs is first money ball. All right.
Chiefs.
I mean, I'll take the Colts money ball pick right now if you guys want. We could always change it.
Sure.
All right, money it up.
Right. All right, that's 2 money ball.
We have 4 less games this week, so.
I actually like this next one as a money ball pick, but Jules, you got to go first. The Ravens are at home -3.5 against the Chargers.
Nah, man. Like I said earlier in tonight's podcast, I think the Ravens' luck runs out. I think the Chargers are a real deal team. It's in LA, right?
It's in the Rave. It's in Baltimore.
Yeah. Oh, it's in Baltimore. All right.
Yeah.
And Baltimore's laying the traditional 3.5.
Baltimore's favored by 3.5, which is crazy.
I'll take the points, man.
Yeah.
I will take the points.
Yep.
Bro.
That's what I mean. I love the Chargers this week. I almost want to take them as one of my survivor picks. That's how crazy I am.
That's a little crazy.
That is crazy. But I really like them this week. All right. Next game. This is a weird game. I don't know. I really don't know. So you guys going to have to decide. Panthers are at home. They're -1.5 against Minnesota.
Yeah, this is such a weird game because I don't know what team is going to show up for either of them.
But
like both of these teams have been so Jekyll and Hyde.
Jules, McCaffrey is going to probably play this week, though. So that could be a difference maker.
Is Cook playing for Minnesota? Or is he still out? Matson playing? I mean, I know Matson's been good.
Yeah, I haven't heard about him.
If CMC's a go, I got to go Panthers.
Yeah.
The Panthers are home?
It looked like because he was practicing last week. Yeah, Panthers are home.
Yeah, I'll go with the home team, especially if CMC's playing. They're what, -1.5?
Yeah, I'm going with the Panthers too.
All right, Panthers it is.
All right. Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm going to really do this. The Rams are in New York. They're -10.5. I know it's an LA team coming all the way over to New York for 1:00 game, but I think you know who I'm taking. I hate to say it. I feel like I should just
talk about survivor picks. This might be my survivor pick.
This is my second one.
Me Mike Glennon, Devontae Booker, a banged up Kadarius Toney, and that shit defense that we have, bro, they're gonna smoke us, man. This is gonna be a joke, dude.
Guys.
Yep.
We have somebody who's healthy. We haven't mentioned at all.
Who?
Evan Ingram is healthy.
Oh, the savior. Evan Ingram's going to go for 10 for 180, and Kadarius Toney will have another 10 for another 180.
Well, we'll be down by 17, and Evan Ingram will catch a touchdown to fuck up the bet at the end of the ball.
100%. 100%.
And we got to take the Rams, right?
Yeah, I'm taking the Rams.
Yeah, we got to
I'm on the record. We're picking the Rams because you guys are picking them. I'm picking the Giants this week. Just saying.
All right, no doubt. I know. I can't bet on the fucking giraffe-looking motherfucker. All right, next game is the Packers are Packers are -4.5 against the Bears,
and that's in
it's in Chicago.
Yeah, right.
In Chicago.
4.5.
It's a trap game. I know it is. There's something off with that line. Chicago's been playing better, but they still don't have Montgomery. Allen Robinson's been a no-show all year. Dude, I think Green Bay goes in and they establish themselves as the NFC North boss.
Yeah, I like the Packers too. I don't think it'll be close like it was in Cincinnati. That was a crazy game.
Yeah, seriously.
Right. The next game, I actually like. I like the Cardinals, man. The Browns are at home. They're -2.5 against the Cardinals, dude. The Cardinals are on fire. I'm not betting against them until they lose.
Definitely the Cardinals.
I can say the same about the Browns, and they're at home. They're coming off the loss. And you know, fine, it might not be that true West Coast to East Coast, you know, time difference play there, but it is a travel for them.
Yeah,
I think they slip up. I think this is the game that Arizona slips up. I like Cleveland. So what's on you, John?
Wow. John?
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, what again they're talking about? I'm sorry. I'm leaving for vacation in like 7 hours, so I'm just getting some shit together. I apologize.
Paging John. Browns and Cardinals.
Oh, Browns and Cardinals?
Yeah.
Cardinals.
In Cleveland. Yeah. Arizona's getting 2.5.
He said it. He said the Cardinals. Cardinals it is.
Cardinals. All right.
I like it. I like that pick. All right. Next game, Broncos are at home -3.5 against the Raiders, whoever the hell's coaching them.
Wait. One more time. Sorry, I missed it.
Broncos -3.5.
Oh, against the Raiders.
Against
right.
the
We don't know
Raiders.
who their coach is. And then where is that game? It's in Vegas?
It's in Denver.
I got to go Broncos here.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, Broncos.
Broncos.
Right, I think that's the other Moneyball pick.
Yeah.
Sure.
I think they're going to be in a little bit of a disarray. I think the Broncos turn on this one. What Broncos are -3.5?
3.5, yeah. -3.5. So that's three Moneyball picks right there. All right, next game. God, I hate to bet this team too, but I know they're going to win. Cowboys are -4 in New England. Cowboys, yeah. I hate to say it. Their offense is too fucking good for them. All right. I mean, that honestly, that could be the other Moneyball pick for us. I mean,
no, I can't. It's really throw up in my mouth, bro.
All right. There's one Moneyball pick, and that's the last game that we're going to announce that I really love. So we'll get there. All right. Okay. Next game is Steelers. They're at home again. They're -4.5 against the Seahawks. and Seahawks lost Russell, right? So
Yeah, I gotta ride the Steelers here. I gotta ride them.
yeah,
with
I got to
Nuggets.
ride with them
You know what
too,
I mean?
man.
I agree.
Not a money ball pick, but we'll see. This one I
Yeah.
like. This one I really love as a money ball pick. The Bills are in Tennessee. Bills are -5.5. I love
All
the
day,
Bills, man.
all day, baby.
All the Bills, and that's the money ball pick,
You know,
right?
you want to talk about a team like you were saying about Arizona? That's how I feel about Buffalo right now.
Yeah,
So
they
let
do.
let them prove me wrong.
They look good, man. They
Yeah.
look good on every aspect.
Their
Every aspect.
defense is flying, especially like they're not missing cylinders here yet. And Stephon Diggs is yet to fucking blow up for a game yet. Come on, man. Like that was their fucking bread and butter last year. And he still hasn't even blown up yet. And they're still looking like they are. So Bills all day, money ball it.
That's it. And that's the 4 money ball picks, and that's the picks.
That's right. Yeah, that was a Monday night game. All right.
Yeah,
All right.
Monday
Well,
nighter.
picks are in. We're looking good. We had some laughs. Hopefully the Giants can get healthy this week, right? That to me is the like main focus for this week. Yes, it'd be amazing to somehow pull out a win against the Rams. A little unlikely unless the Rams go to sleep on us, and you never know. Any given Sunday, they come in. I got to check to see who they play next week. Maybe they come in sleeping. You know, we hit them, but I doubt it. You know, hopefully we could just get healthy. Hopefully Daniel Jones go through protocol. He's out. Hopefully Barkley's injury isn't as bad. Hopefully Shepard gets healthy. Hopefully Galladay gets healthy. Hopefully Tony's not hurt. Hopefully we got a back-to-back starting left guard for a change instead of having a recruit team. Because we have 6 different guys starting left guard this week. I might lose my mind. But you know, other than that, man, that's it. That's the state of the Giants currently. All right. Say what you want. It's not looking good. Hopefully in the next few weeks we can figure this out. Put the blame somewhere. I don't know. But that's where it's at, man. And I think that wraps it up for the Big Blue Offensive Podcast, man. You know where to catch us on Twitter, the BBONYG, because next week we are actually going to start a new little segment where we're gonna answer some questions. We'll be getting hit up with a lot of different opinions, and we're always quick to fire back. But we're gonna save a couple of those for the show. So if you got some burning questions that you want to hear us discuss, hit us up, man. You know, you can hit us up on the BBONYG, shoot us on a quick DM, or you know, I'm at Jules NYC1. Mike's at Mike Trainer MFT. You got John at the NYG Slap Parade. You know, you can hit us up individually, but we definitely have that going on. So definitely let us know how you feel. If you want to hit up the show, let us know. Send a comment, and we'll get to some of those next week. But for now, keep the faith. Hopefully the Giants get healthy, and we'll see you guys next week. Peace.
Peace.